And this is what happens when two sides to a lawsuit have huge budgets for lawyers, because this dispute is really not something that would have happened if the defendant didn't have so much money and if the plaintiff didn't have so much money. But let me walk you through this and provide my comments. So this is brand new, right? Coach filed a lawsuit against Gap for selling Coach t-shirts. And on its face, it sounds like trademark infringement. But as I scoured the internet, I finally found the article that actually had a picture of what's happening here. So I'm going to show it to you in a second, and then I'm going to go through the article and provide my comments. So here it is, right? Again, if you just look at Coach here, then of course it looks like trademark infringement, right? Coach is a registered trademark. Why would Gap be selling Coach t-shirts on its Old Navy website? But then you see the little Champ t-shirt, and then you can see the context of why Gap was doing that. But again, let's go through the article and then I'll provide my comments. All right, so Coach has initiated a legal battle against Gap, accusing Old Navy division of trademark infringement. The lawsuit was lodged in LA federal court, and the heart of the dispute is Gap's sale of t-shirts emblazoned with the word Coach, which according to Coach and its parent company Tapestry Inc. was done without permission. Well, duh. If they did it with permission, there would not have been a federal lawsuit. Coach argues this act violates trademark laws and poses a significant risk of confusing consumers into believing that Coach had a hand in producing this garment. So look, this is not a crazy argument today with so many collabs happening between big brands and cheap mass market apparel companies. That happens all the time. And so Coach's argument is, hey, people may think that you guys did a collab with us and that's how you have this t-shirt on the market, right? So that's what Coach is saying. Given that Coach's brand is synonymous with a unique blend of fashion craftsmanship, style, and function, I love how they insert advertising in legal papers. It's always a fun thing to read. Primarily through its luxury lifestyle items, the association with mass market t-shirts is viewed as potentially damaging. The lawsuit states the irreparable harm that Coach believes it has suffered due to the unauthorized use of a trademark. Additionally, the company's trademarks are not just logos, but symbols of quality and luxury, carefully cultivated over decades since the brand's inception in 1941, as reported by Retail Boss. Okay, Coach is seeking unspecified damages for trademark infringement, counterfeiting, and violations of California's unfair competition law. The luxury brand is also asking for the destruction of all unsold inventory of the infringing clothing. This case, officially titled Tapestry Inc. Et al. Versus Gap Inc., marks a notable departure from the usual targets of luxury brand lawsuits, which typically involve smaller entities like individual sellers, importers, or website operators. With both parties being publicly traded and well established in their respective markets, the outcome of this legal battle is poised to be a landmark event with potential ripple effects across the retail and fashion industries. So here's the actual thing. Here's the here's the core of this. I'm sure their lawyers spoke to one another informally before the lawsuit was filed. That's what typically happens. And Coach said, hey guys, what the hell are you doing? Why are you putting our brand on your cheap t-shirts? And Gap people say, well, we're not using the word Coach as a brand to get people to think that we're selling Coach brand t-shirts. We are selling it in pair with a Champ. So when a parent goes out with a kid, the kid would wear the Champ t-shirt and the parent would wear a Coach t-shirt, and everyone who sees them would be like, oh, how cute, right? And Coach people said, well, that is cute, but that's still trademark infringement. And Gap said, no, it's not. And Coach said, well, yes, it is. And then Gap said, well, sue us and let's find out, right? And that goes to the idea of this can only happen when both sides have huge legal budgets. Because if Gap didn't have a lot of money for their budget, what would probably happen is they will, as soon as they got a demand letter from Coach, they'd be like, well, we had no idea, we didn't mean it that way, we'll take it down from the website, we'll stop advertising it, allow us to finish selling whatever batch we've made, and let's call it a day, or maybe we'll just stop selling them, period. And Coach would have gone away. If Coach didn't have a huge legal budget and they approached the law firm to sue Gap over this, assuming Gap did have a lot of money, then the lawyers would say, well, it's definitely not a clear case of trademark infringement because they have a decent defense. So it might have been harder for the plaintiff to find a law firm that would take this case on a contingency basis. Basically, if they win, they get paid. If they lose, they don't get paid. So some firms may have taken it, some firms wouldn't, but it wouldn't be as easy for a smaller plaintiff with little to no legal budget to find a law firm to do this. And if neither of them had any money, well, then the law firm definitely would not have taken this on a contingency basis, because you can't extract blood from a stone, right? You can't extract money from a defendant that has no money. So the lawyers would need to get paid by someone, and if neither defendant nor the plaintiff have any money, well, there's no case to be tried, right? So this is interesting because, again, here both companies have big legal budgets. They've got lawyers on retainers who are going to have a field day writing their arguments and their motions, and if nothing else, this has just drawn attention to Gap's campaign, and I'm sure so some people are going to take advantage of this and buy some of these shirts for them and their kids. But in reality, how big of a loss does this create for Coach? I don't think it really dilutes the brand. Because, look, you go to sporting events and you will see coaches wearing t-shirts that say Coach, because that's what they are, right? And that doesn't dilute Coach's brand. So I think it would be pretty hard for Coach's lawyers with a straight face to make an argument that they have sustained irreparable harm, that their brand is now in shambles because Gap has put out this shirt. This is unfortunately how law firms operate. They find a way for them to generate some billable hours over something that they can paint as very important, and then the lawyers on the other side are like, well, you're being sued over something that's not illegal, it's something that's not trademark infringement. Let us let us, help you fight this. And so it goes. The big the big people at the big companies authorize their budgets, and then the lawyers do what they do best. They generate billable hours, but like I said, this is a fun case because it's not just a case that screams of trademark infringement because of this, because of Champ. And I'm sure that Gap and Old Navy are smart enough to not have launched t-shirts that just said Coach or just said some other brand name, right? They have a pretty good defense here. So what we're going to do is we're going to see how this case ends up. But for us normal people who don't run multi-billion-dollar companies, the lesson here is come up with a brand that is not prone to use in a generic sense. Come up with unique brands that you can always tell, hey, these guys are infringing on our trademark. They're not just using it for the word that it means. For the defendant side, don't, be careful what products you launch so as not to infringe on someone else's trademark. That's the big lesson here as well. So I'm hoping that this was useful to you as a commentary. If you like the video, please like the video and subscribe. Your subscriptions help grow the channel. They help me grow the channel. If you have a brand that you want to protect, go to trademarkfactory.com and we'll help you out. And until then, I'll see you in the next video.